So hello everyone. Um, I'm not going to again present myself because it's not like I think 99% of the people from this meetup session have seen me before. Now that I'm thinking, I think it's the first time I'm presenting here in English. So that's going to be a first. And funny enough, I did prepare myself for Romanian. So that's again an important switch back.
Well, good luck. What can I say?
Well, we need to adapt, so let's bring it on.
And we have translations. If you have anything that can be said only in Romanian, we have translations. Even if I don't think so.
Good one. So, I think I thought about 2 weeks what I'm going to present today, and I said, you know what? It's not going to be something very, or no, let me rephrase it. It's not going to be something that sits in my comfort zone. So I went a bit out in, I'd say in an area that I'm normally, I would consider not being proficient in, and this is the visual side. I think one of the most common things when we start projects is, besides defining the actual requirements, and especially when I start working as a freelancer with different companies, is how do we establish the guide, the brand guideline? What are we going to use for that report? What are the brand colors that we need to use? All those design discussions. And this normally ends up in being a custom theme that's being built that I will download. I'll keep for myself in a JSON format. If somebody is asking for it, I'm going to provide it further. But then again, each and every time, unless I'm saving the file as a Power BI template, I'll need to re-upload the custom theme. In today's session, we are going to look at two very important things. One is a feature that I think has been there since March or April, if I'm not wrong, which are visual styles. We can predefine a number of templates for the visuals, which we can then simply select through a drop-down menu. At the same time, since we put in all this effort in creating that custom theme, starting with July, we do have a preview feature called organizational themes. This means we can take the JSON file, we are going to provide it to the Power BI admin, who can upload it in the Power BI service, and then any report creator will see it from the Power BI desktop. But at the same time, I will also be able to take already published reports, go and edit them, and apply that custom theme that was published. So we can consider it some sort of official, finally we have an out-of-the-box functionality for all official custom themes within the organization. This being said,
it's been only 10 years.
It's never too late.
True.
This is what I'm telling you. It's never too late. Let me share the screen, and we are going to start off from an actual blank report. I just loaded a sample file that we can load. It's nothing fancy. It's a very bad model, but it's just something for us to play with. Normally, when we start and we learn Power BI, we do learn that if I go on the View tab in here, I am going to see the custom themes that we have predefined when Power BI got installed. I can select one, that's all nice and dandy, but I can also customize it. So if I'm going to click on this, I'll see some settings that I can select the brand colors. One of the things that I find interesting is that we get limited. So you see those 8 colors, we are limited to that. While we will be working with a JSON file, we'll see, and with other theme generator platforms, we can add much more to that. And in general, if I go through all these options, yes, they help me. They will get, in most of the times, their job done, but they are never going to provide me the necessary flexibility for a corporate level. Now, as long as I change something in here, so let's say I'm going to go inside, I'm going to select the color, I'm going to apply it. Next time, I wouldn't want to go and perform the same change. So what I can do is save the current theme. It's the option that we have right here at the bottom. I can go inside. I can then save it. For any new report that I want to apply this theme, I can go back inside of here. I'll select the first option, which is the browse themes in here. And I'm going to select the respective theme that I just saved. But now, the question that comes is, can I do it outside Power BI desktop? And the answer is yes. And we do have, I listed down 3 options. I can tell you there are much more. But we do have both paid and free custom theme generators. Let me just paste also the links in the chat so that you have them. Those are 3 options that I personally recommend. In today's session, I'm going to show you the Power BI tips theme generator with the Plus subscription. This is a subscription that costs $3 per month. You can pay by month, so you can use it for 2 months and then stop your subscription. I want to do this because this gives me much more freedom in terms of what I'm going to show you today. So first and foremost, I'm just going to open up so that I scare the people off, so that we see who's running away and who not.
Everybody's here.
Still? So that's like an almost fully customized option would look. You see that we have a lot of options here. Now, at the beginning, if I do like to understand whatever we have inside of here, I can take it step by step. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to press Control K0 all at the same time. No. Good. No. I did this because I wanted to collapse everything. I don't want to see all these options. I want to start from scratch. The moment I'm going to open it up the first time, I'm going to see the theme name and the brand colors. Those were those 8 colors that we are seeing when we customize the theme in the Power BI desktop.
So this is the JSON file that you've downloaded, right?
Correct.
Opened with Visual Studio Code.
True.
Okay.
Then I'm going to go into the text classes. We are not going to touch base upon that. And then we have all the other colors and elements. In case somebody wants to deep dive into what everything means, we are also going to check it shortly, but the Microsoft documentation on this topic is pretty well written. And I would definitely recommend you from the link to go and check out the table that looks at the text classes. Because at the beginning, I was always getting confused, okay, which class belongs to what? What's the header? What are the labels? What class does it fit in? They have a very nice table in the documentation that explains with concrete examples where each class is being used. Now, the purpose of today's session was not to walk you through the full JSON theme file, but to look at the visual styles. And to understand what visual styles are, we are going to take a very quick example of the oldest version of visual presets that we have. I created a matrix. If I go to the layout and presets, we are all going to remember that we had all these options inside out of the box. That's the oldest visual preset that we had in Power BI. Now, we are going to look today on how we can create style presets for all the other visual elements that we have. And for this, let's do something. I'm going to go side by side and I am going to open up an example of visual presets coming from the Microsoft documentation. The main purpose is for us to understand how this is done. Visual presets are always defined at the visual level. So even if I would like to do it multiple times, I would need to do it for each visual independently. So the structure that we follow is simple. We define the class. So we are in the class of visual styles. That's where we are going to define them. I am mentioning what is the visual type. And then normally the JSON theme under this section would contain the settings of the visual. This refers to the default items. In a normal case, default means these are my settings for this visual. In this respective case, we don't have anything else inside other than defining. Let's also open up this one. What is my default preset? So that's the only setting I told him for this column chart. So for the column chart, the default preset is going to be demo preset 1. Even though I do define 3 different presets in here. Clear so far? You're with me?
Finally, I understood it too. What's the default one? Because I never had enough patience to go through all the documentation and seeing all those options in Power BI themes theme generator. I never went through all the way to customize a theme. I have some already built, but it's only good enough without fully understanding what does the asterisk means. Now I know. Thank you.
You're welcome. Correct, Takami. Your question is totally on point. Yes. Even though I wouldn't define, so let me take a step back. This lets me define a number of presets for each visual. At the same time, while you can do it, the recommendation is if you create a visual style for a certain visual, try to be consistent. So try to apply the same type of logic you applied on the colors also for the other visuals you are going to customize and have presets created for. But yes, this allows you to actually predefine how it's going to look. So the next time you are going to do it, you are not going to spend time and take each visual and format it individually. No, those presets are going to be applied automatically. Now, I'm not going to go and explain you the examples. What we are going to do is we are just going to take this one and we'll try to apply it. So what I'm interested on is this respective part in here, column chart. This is where I opened up the properties. This is where I closed the properties. I'm going to open up here the visual styles. And let's copy this one first. Inside, okay. Column chart, this is where we're at. I'm just going to take it. Through. Come on. Don't be ugly.
Use the keys. Shortcuts.
Yeah, true. I understood why. No. Good. Let's close it. Let's save it. I'm going to go to the Power BI file. The column chart. So let's just add something so that we see the difference. Very shiny. Let me also make sure that I save this one. Going to go here and browse for it. This is where I'm at. This is the theme that I want to save. I got the message and you see that it already changed. But let's go and check that now we have a totally new option that before wasn't there. And I forgot to show you, but I can show you with something totally different. So let me add this card. We'll see if we want to customize this one further. If I go to the formatting pane, after I'm also going to drag something inside of it, I don't have this option. So there is no visual preset. Why? Because I need to create them first so that the option will appear on the formatting pane. If I go inside, I see the demo preset was selected. That's normal because this is what we defined as the default. If I'm going to select it, you see that everything that I want and I customize changes. And that this was actually only by taking this one, customize it and uploading it here. Now I can try to reuse it across this custom theme that I created. Does it make sense so far?
Perfect. And easy. You know, this kind of work of reusing styles, it's perfect for someone like me who loves the refresh button in Power Query. So I don't have to work. I only work once and then reapply it.
Yeah, but that's why I love it even more with what we are going to do at the end with our organizational teams, because I don't need to even select it anymore. I'm going to have it there in the menu.
Yeah, I know, but you still have to build it first.
True.
Well, this is my biggest problem.
Good. Now, let's also understand how we could use a theme generator to customize this one. So I'm going to go into the Power BI tips. I'm going to purely focus on the properties where we have the options. And why I said that I find it that for the $3 it's worth it. Here I have a very nice option of also checking the code. So whenever I change something, I can see how it actually changes. Let's create a new theme. Again, to the properties, I'm going to open up the code. It's empty. This is how we are going to start it. Let's say I want to take the card. And we are going to create 3 different formats. Let me shift over for a second the visual code editor on the other side so that I do see the color codes that I want to use. First one, I have not defined any color codes. I'm going to provide it the hex code. This is the first option. So what I do still need to change are very simple, the labels. So let's go category labels, select the color. We are going to make it white. Data label. Let me see if I know which was the hex color for the green option. So let's try it out. No, wrong one.
You can choose it from the slider.
Good. So this will be my first option. What I can do now is inside, I do see that I have the card with the options. Now, in our case, we don't look at the default because our default has names. So what I will be interested on, the moment I hover my mouse over it, I'm going to see where it ends. So it ends on row number 40 here. What I can do is I can go and take this part. I'm going to copy it.
So you are using only Shift and mouse click or up arrow, right?
Exactly.
Because we had a question in the chat. I was suspecting that. And it's the same shortcut here. Select and copy.
Here, let's see this part. If you don't feel comfortable with hotkeys, you can just drag it across. Ain't an issue. And we've done it. Those were the settings. We are going to ask ourselves, but hey, how can we make sure that this part is working. And the amazing part of the Visual Studio Code, and just to be efficient, I'm going to cheat a bit so that I can copy the link. This was the basic structure. Let's take the card one since we do have it ready. I'm going to paste it and I'm going to explain you what we are doing. And then I'm also going to show you where you can find it. If I want to validate the input that I'm making, Visual Studio can help me do that. The Visual Studio Code, if I tell him this is the schema that I'm going to follow, it can tell me, hey, you've done something wrong because you are going off script. This is not a normal structure that the JSON should follow. But then the question would be, what is the right schema that we need to follow? And if I'm opening up the report documentation for a second, I'm going to go inside and search for schema. And towards, you see that here we have this hyperlink. This is the GitHub where Microsoft publishes the official schema of the JSON files for the team files. This is the place where I would just go on the latest one if I want and just copy the link from here and paste it in my team file. Now we've created one preset, which is good, but at the same time, I still need to change something because we worked with cards. Here I am on the column chart. So I can go back inside. I'll go back to the to the tips editor. I'm going to copy this one and paste it. What I'm doing right now is I can click on cancel. I can update it a bit more. So let's say this was the place where I had the background color. So let's change it. We are going to try the first one, but I think the first one might be a bit, this one. This was even darker, I think. But now I don't want to paste the hex code because I want to show you something on how the team files get generated, which confused me at the beginning. I don't want to provide him the hex code. I want to add it as a brand color. I'm going to click on add. You see that we have it here. The moment I go back to properties, I now have a new category in here. So whenever I want to select colors, I have two options. Either I'm adding the color to my brand colors if I've not done this already, or I can go on the custom color and I will provide directly the hex code. I want to show you both options because the syntax that gets generated will be a bit different. So if I'm going to now go again, this was the part, again, copy it. We are going back, demo preset number 2, right? And that's it. I'm not going to spend the time to also do the third one. So what I can do is just simply delete it. But I do need to make sure I also delete the trailing comma. And now we are in the card visual. We still have the predefined preset, but that's something my card visual did not have. If we are going to go in here, let's just be efficient and search for it. Not the card visual, it's the card. And there can also be the case where I don't have it. So if I don't have it, it means I've not customized something for it, or there's not something that will be customized. So what I can do in this case, I know that this was the part that I want to copy. Let's just take it completely. Please, Cristi, want to say something?
Yeah, it's the first time when I'm seeing it like this, and I'm surprised you can copy entire code as long as you follow the structure. You just can copy paste and it's all working.
Like Adam would say, it just works.
Yeah, but that's Kerberos.
So let's close this one because it did open up. And what I wanted to show you is on the color side. So on the demo preset one, we provided the hex code. You see that I have the color property. I told him that it's a solid color, and then I pointed out the color, right? Let me close the demo preset one and also push it a bit further so that you don't really get that confused. When I added it as a brand color, he didn't tell me the hex code there anymore. He remembered it got stored as part of the colors of the theme file, and it tells me the position ID. It's 0 base index, so keep that in mind. It starts from 0. So what this 2 is telling us is this is the third color from the list we have. Through its nature, the moment, and I'm for a second going to go back to the theme file so that I explain something. We have these 8 colors. The way Power BI is going to work by default, it's going to start using for a visual each color one by one until it uses every of the 8 colors, if this is the case, and then starts with saturations of the same colors. In our case, we can go to 8 and to more than 8 colors if we would like, but keep in mind that if you use a theme generator and you use brand colors, whenever you see this color ID equals to 2, please don't get scared. The second option we see here, the percent, that's the transparency. We told him it's not transparent, the transparency is 0. With this in mind, we are going to save it. We are going to go back to Power BI. Yeah, and I clicked by mistake another theme file. Interesting on the demo preset one. Let's see what issue we have, because we know they work. So we see them here, we have them. That's not the issue. If we would have not worked, first and foremost, whenever I import a custom theme file and I have an error on it, Power BI is going to throw me up the error message, say, hey, I can't import it, you have an error message inside. You have some fishy things inside your theme file. In this case, it worked. So we see the 2 options. So whatever we might have done here comes from the options that we have. So color ID number 2, let me check something. Color ID number 2 means we are in the third color, which might be white, but let's try it out. Select the color, let's use the hex code. So no, that's not our issue. What was it? Yeah. Interesting. And it was for the background, so we are good on this part. The transparency is 0. Okay, but you do get the point of what we try to achieve.
One question here, the transparency, is it set to 0, meaning that you have all the transparency and you don't see it, or 0 as there is no transparency?
It's 0 transparent, yes. That's
so
that's
it's
how you
solid.
should see it. Exactly.
I thought this might be the case. If you put it to 50, see if it's changing.
Let's try it out. I mean, there's nothing we can actually lose, right? Let's say we save it. And of curiosity, I'm going to also change the index. So from 2, I'm going to go on to 3. Save it.
So this is the 4th color.
Exactly. Okay.
So you're actually changing the demo preset too.
Yeah, because I was in the demo preset.
Uh-huh.
The demo
Yeah.
preset was the one that was using the index color position.
Mhm.
Good. Now, I could keep on going and make this for all the visuals. We are not going to do it because we still need to look at the organizational teams that we have as options and see how we can use this part. So, here I do have the bytewise team JSON file. This is the file. I worked on it. I'm ready. I've tested it. I know it works. I'm going to provide it to my admin. What the admin is going to do is the admin is going to go into Power BI. Important note, the person must be a Fabric or a Power Platform admin. Both roles provide you access to the admin portal in Site Fabric. And here we have this new option, which is Organizational Teams Preview. I don't have any teams right now, so let's go and add one. That's the one we worked on. Of course, we can give it a name. This option that you see right here is for the organizations that use Copilot to generate Power BI reports. I could tell him to apply it also. We don't really care. We are going to add it. Now, the moment I add it, that doesn't mean it's operational. I can upload draft versions if I would like here. What I would need to do is I need to select it and I need to say enable for gallery. So I need to upload it. I can keep it there without making it publicly available to my organization. And only when I'm sure I can go inside and say, hey, you know what? Let's enable this one. Now, still nothing changed because the moment we publish the organizational team, this does not get applied retroactively. So all the reports that I've already published, they are not going to be changed. I need to actually take the action and do it.
Yes, but it's much easier than opening
Correct.
each report individually.
So let's first see how this would actually look. I have this report. I'll click on edit. I'll go to view, and here I have the team section. It's inside here. And now we do have a new option that's popped up. Organizational teams. Can select it. I see that it changed. What was this one? This was a simple card. And you see that I have the same presets also inside the Power BI service.
Yep.
Now let's see what happens in the Power BI desktop. So if I go here, you see that now a new option popped up and I didn't even have to restart Power BI.
Yeah, this is what I was thinking. You didn't have to restart, which is really cool.
I was also convinced that I need to restart it, and then I said I'm going to try it out, and it worked.
It's just like changing to dark theme. You don't have to restart.
Now, the moment I publish it, my job doesn't stop there because I can at any time point go back if I still want to perform changes, if I still want to, yeah, let's save it because I also want to show you what happens if I delete it. I can at any time point go back, add more if I would like to, or let's say I'm adding incrementally visual style to different visuals, so people don't need to wait for me to finish all the visuals. I can start within incremental steps, visual by visual. I can go inside, select it, as you can see right here, and I have the detail section. If I would like, I could replace this one with the updated JSON team file.
And this will be updated in all the reports where it's used.
Correct. The one thing that doesn't get changed is the moment I'm going to delete it. So let's check out the sales report. This is how it looks. If I go inside the admin section, or Teams preview again, and I am going to delete it. Let's see if this will affect my report. And it does not, because the moment it applied the theme, if the theme is going away, this is not affecting the report. It's not reverting to some sort of previous theme or something like this.
This is really cool. At least it doesn't break your reports.
And I also like the fact that they have not forced the option of being able to cascade it down to like all the reports in the Power BI service. So this is amazing.
I have a question here.
Please.
Can you apply it through the semantic link labs or programmatically somehow?
Yes.
I told you I'm lazy. I'm thinking of making my work more efficient.
I tried it out and I would advise you against it for now.
Okay, so it's still in preview.
Things can change. Paste the link because this was my last point on the list. We have a semantic link labs function that does this. Sandeep Pawar from the Microsoft CAT team has actually written a function that does exactly this. It takes a workspace and changes the organizational theme for the report that resides in that respective workspace. But there are two important prerequisites, and Chris is the first one for which I told you I would stay away from it right now, is that this implies two things. You would need to use the Power BI project file format with the PBIR, with the PBI enhanced report metadata format.
Okay, I'm not touching it then.
Correct, and I would advise you against it because I tried it out with 3 workspaces. 2 of them went fine. But on one of them, so that I show you what can, also the ugly side of what can happen when we play with preview features. This was a report for which I updated the theme, and it worked fine. I can tell you this is how it's going to stay. It's not going to load there anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
So everything is broken.
Yeah. This was a live report connected to a semantic model through a live connection, so it should have been straightforward. It does not have a semantic model, anything. It broke. So this is why I would stay away from the PBR enhanced format for the time being still. They did fix a lot of bugs last month.
Yeah, but it's still not advisable.
Exactly. I like the idea of it. I like that now you will be able, the same as I went inside and just copied some visual styles, I would be able to just copy visuals directly. I love the idea of doing that.
Well,
but it's not there yet.
It's a request very voted in the idea site, being able to copy and paste visuals with all the settings and everything.
Yep.
Yeah, it will come eventually, but I understand it's a lot of implications in the back whenever you are doing it. This is why it's still in preview. This is why things can change. And this is why you shouldn't rely in production on preview features, right?
True. Yep.
Yeah. For example, the field parameters. How long did they stay in preview? 3 years?
True.
Well, this is really, really cool. Questions, if we have additional questions.
For the first time that I finished much earlier than I was anticipating.
Yeah, because demo gods were with you. And nothing broke irreversibly.
At least as a general question, do you find this useful as an idea?
Me personally, yes. Because I'm lazy. And this is helping me. I don't know, from the chat, what do you think? People in the meeting. Are you using it? I saw that Takami was not using it until now. So for her, for sure, it's helpful. See, she wants to build her own theme now. Well, if you're an admin or the person in the company taking care about the visual layer, this will help you a lot. Very tempting, indeed.
And by the way, when I pasted the 3 team generator links, the second one, the teams.pbx generator, that's a free one.
And the Power UI, it's also paid, right?
Yeah, they have a commercial model that is interesting for heavy Power BI developers. I'll tell you why. The monthly subscription is $8, but they provide you much more than just a team generator. They provide you already fully customized teams, including visual styles. They provide you a Figma toolkit for wireframing. And they also give you access to a lot of sample reports that you can start using. So you can have a starting point and just plug in your data and then play with it.
Yeah, I did try to use their templates and customize my own template because I already have a template with some calendars inside and some M functions inside. But it was too much. Even if I downloaded there or connected the template to the GitHub, the report is still too big to use it as a template. So I'm not using it anymore.
When I was preparing a bit for this session, I also learned something. So a fully customized team JSON file can become very long. At some point, it became too long that I could not provide it to ChatGPT.
Really?
ChatGPT was telling me that, hey, the file is a bit too long, so try to shorten it a bit. So what I did do, and I had this issue when I was asking questions on the standard structure. So I took the file from GitHub, and I wanted to ask some questions around structures. What I did have to do as a workaround is I had to create a project, and this applies to both ChatGPT and Claude as well, and provide it as part of the documents of the project. And make a reference in the prompting instructions that whenever I ask questions on the structure, it should go back and check the respective document.
So any other questions? If not, thank you very much, Christy. For me, at least, it was something that will really help me in 2 months, probably, because I still have to finish the back end of some projects. But as I said, I never managed to finish a complete team until now with Power BI tips generator. But now that we have visual styles and everything, it's much easier. And in the end, I will have to do it for a customer. So, and for our company. At least I have something to play with inside the company and then apply it for a customer.
The personal recommendation for when somebody tries working with this and customize the team is just work on your normal Power BI report. But whenever you want to do a change, don't feel tempted to select the visual and do the change. Go and perform the same change in Power BI tips or any kind of team generator and save it. This creates the rigor of not shortcutting and doing and updating the visual standalone.
This was really cool. Thank you, Christy. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Hope to see you for the next 2 Power Query sessions in end of September and October. I will stop the recording now, and whoever wants to stay a bit more for chit chat, you are more than welcome. Thanks again.
Thank you as well for having me.
Thank you. Bye-bye.